A shocking case. In an industrial town right after New Year's Day, a 9-year-old girl vanished from a playground in broad daylight. A day later, her body was found at a city landfill. Don't miss this. The psychics are on the case. This is Psychic Investigations, a show of real and astonishing stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate sensational criminal cases and incredible supernatural phenomena. Fourth grader Miroslava Dvoryanska disappeared on January 2nd, right after New Year's. The girl went outside to play in the yard.
That day, the last person to see her was a local boy, Maxim, around 2 in the afternoon, at the playground near her home. He said a man approached Miroslava and led her away. On January 3rd at 6 p.m., Miroslava's body was discovered at the city landfill, brought there by a garbage truck. Based on the truck's route, police determined the approximate area where the killer had dumped the body. Nearby, they also found her outer clothing.
Signs of sexual assault were found on the girl's body.
The news spread quickly across town. Panic gripped the residents. Playgrounds stood empty. Everyone in the town united to find the killer.
Based on the testimony of the boy who saw the perpetrator, a composite sketch was made and shared in the media and online. According to him, Miroslava left with a thin, elderly man around 60, wearing a bright orange outfit, possibly a work uniform, and a cap of the same color.
Police questioned thousands of people, but didn't find a single witness who had seen the man depicted in the composite sketch, or the girl on January 2nd.
January 2nd was a holiday, and there were almost no passers-by on the streets. It's quite possible that no one actually saw the suspect.
The investigation had reached a dead end. The Dvoryansky family called for help from 2 of our best psychics, Olena Kurylova and Khayal Alekperov. Police are keeping all information about the case secret so as not to alert the killer. That's why the psychics have no details about the murder.
The wind blows in your face. The swing is moving. A hand. He takes your hand. Do you know him? Is he a relative? A neighbor? Why is there no fear?
Not only Miroslava's family, but also dozens of local residents are waiting for the psychic's arrival. Everyone here shares one goal: to find the murderer.
Hello. Our family suffered a terrible loss. A stranger abused and killed my granddaughter. I'm asking you to help find this man.
And you're the father?
I feel she has a younger brother.
Vladik. He turned 7 on January 8th.
I sense she grew up without her mother.
She left her and her little brother with their father. He came to live with me with the kids.
Miroslava's mother left the family 2.5 years ago. She met another man.
It was tough, both morally and financially. I have a pension. I run around plastering, doing extra work. Additionally, I have a job under a labor contract.
Lyudmila Dvoryanska works as a conductor and leaves home for her shift at 6 a.m. Her older son works as a loader at the food warehouse and also leaves at 6. So during the day, the kids were cared for by the grandmother's friend and neighbor, Tatiana.
They call me Tanya. I was like a friend to them. And for me, that was the greatest reward.
I feel her spirit. It's nearby, not far from us.
It went that way, over there, where the swings are.
The children always played on the playground near the house. The grandmother and father weren't afraid to let them play alone, since the kids never left without permission and always returned on time.
Miroslava left the house at 12:10 with her younger brother. Their friend Maxim was already in the yard. Miroslava stayed in the yard, and Vladik went to visit their neighbor, Tatiana.
It was around 1 o'clock. Tanya, can I come to your place? Please, I'll watch cartoons.
Vladik came home at 2:30 p.m. He was alone, without Miroslava. The boy didn't know where she was. He told his father that when he left the playground, Miroslava was still there with Maxim.
Her father assumed the children had just been playing too long and went out to look for her in the yard.
I went out, walked past the yard, and looked around, but it seemed she wasn't in sight. Maxim wasn't in sight either.
Not seeing his daughter near the house, Sergei checked all the neighboring playgrounds, but she wasn't there either.
It was already dark. I thought I'd go to Maxim's. I came in, and he said, "No, Miroslava and I split up earlier in the day. She went off with some man. He took her by the hand, and they left together."
At 5:30 p.m., Serhiy Dvoryansky went to the police.
We searched all the attics, inspected the basements and the surrounding area.
The forensic report later revealed that Miroslava's death occurred at around 6 in the evening, just as the police had begun their search.
I see a man. Not a boy, not a teenager, but an adult man. When they were at the playground, he came up to her. I'd say he was between 40 and 50. And his appearance. You know when a person used to be heavy and then lost weight, sunken face. There's harsh disappointment in himself. A woman caused him pain. He hates her. I saw a woman next to the perpetrator, not a girl, a woman. And I felt this lump of hatred. I hate her. I hate her.
Could this have been revenge? But against whom? And how is the girl involved?
I want to go up to the apartment where the girl lived.
Please, come in.
I see she had a strong leader-like personality. I also see her on a stage, like she was performing somewhere.
She took part in every event. Absolutely everyone. She could easily get along with other kids. She learned very fast. Had an excellent memory.
Did she have her cell phone with her that day?
No, it was at home.
It was a small one, right? And she wanted one with a bigger screen.
A touchscreen one.
She dreamed of it. We promised to give it to her for New Year, but then, for her birthday.
Her birthday was supposed to be on the 18th.
What kind of beast needed to kill you? He doesn't want to be found. He's a coward. A demon. A demon hides inside this coward.
I sense he doesn't have a family. He's a lonely man.
I feel alcohol. It was New Year's. He was drinking on an empty stomach, alone, with no one around. He grew bitter, feral, and I see a place, a building he has keys to. Her body was dumped into a container carried out from inside a building. She says, "They killed me." There was a room.
I also see a room. He spends a lot of time there, always alone.
Investigators also believe the crime took place indoors, since the girl's body was clean. There were no traces of dirt.
Tell me, please. Was she wearing a ring or earrings?
No ring, but she had earrings.
Did she still have them on when she was found?
Yes, she had earrings on.
He didn't take them off.
He took nothing, not even the key.
Please give me those earrings. I feel that Miroslava trusted him. She wasn't scared. She wasn't afraid to follow him.
I really want to see a photo of her mother.
Only this one, from her childhood.
That's her mother?
Tell me her mother's name.
Zhenya.
Did the mother drink?
Of course.
A year and a half after Miroslava was born, her mother, Zhenya, began drinking heavily.
I'd come home from work. She was already drunk.
The drinking continued even after Zhenya gave birth to Vladik 2 years later. Eventually, the couple decided to separate. Serhiy insisted the children stay with him.
I said, "We'll take the kids no matter what so they don't see all this."
Zhenya didn't object. She was unemployed and knew she couldn't support them.
Zhenya. This man, is he connected to you?
For the past 2.5 years, Zhenya has been living with a friend from her youth.
Her mother told her, "I've fallen in love with Uncle Igor, and I'll live with him."
Even though Zhenya had left her children, The Dvoryansky family didn't mind Miroslava visiting her mother from time to time.
Hello, my name is Andrei Lisiuk. We'd like to ask you about Miroslava. When did you last see her before she died?
In November.
What kind of relationship did you have?
They came to visit me during the school holidays. Everything was great.
And how did she get along with your boyfriend?
Just fine.
They got along?
Yes. I wouldn't live with a man who treated my kids badly. Do you understand?
The police checked Zhenia's partner for involvement in Miroslava's murder. On January 2nd, he was at home. Moreover, he didn't match the suspect's description. The police also considered the possibility that another man from Zhenia's circle could have been involved. But after checking all her acquaintances, they still didn't find the killer.
I think we should go to the place where the girl was playing that day.
The psychics are trying to tune in to the energy of that encounter. To avoid interfering with each other, they decide to split up.
Suddenly, I felt the killer's energy behind me. He was on the street, just a few steps away. The trace was very faint, and I was afraid to lose it. So I immediately followed in that direction.
He'd been wandering around that day looking for something. He wanted a one-time encounter, was looking for sex, a hookup to blow off steam. Maybe he was after someone older, around 18, or a teenage girl.
Across from the playground, there is a dormitory belonging to the vocational training center. Many of the students there are orphans. They all live in that dorm. There is a theory that the killer was originally looking for a victim there, especially since the girls left without parental supervision aren't exactly well behaved.
They smoke and drink beer.
Right here?
Yeah, by the side entrance. They hang out there in groups. And if someone wants privacy, one or two girls, they go off to the side.
I sense the energy of a girl around 18. I am not sure he was looking for her that particular day. But earlier, there had been an attempt to assault or harass her.
I feel that the killer went that way. I want us to follow his trail.
The man came from over there. They walked off that way, along the path. The boy who was with her, he saw everything.
They really did go that way. Maxim showed that exactly right.
Are you his mother?
No, I'm his aunt.
The boy's family lives in fear. After all, Maxim is the only witness. What if the killer decides to take revenge?
He was smoking and threw the cigarette butt right here. I sensed that someone saw him. He was wearing a brown jacket and had a thin face. He stopped here, stood for a while, and looked in that direction, where your grandchildren were.
I want to say he had been here before. He is local.
Maxim says that he saw that man here several times, sitting on those benches.
How did he describe him? Was he wearing a cap?
Yes, a cap and some kind of orange work jacket.
Completely orange.
Well, as he described it, yes.
The boy wasn't standing close. There was some distance between them.
It's possible the boy could have been mistaken in his testimony. During the investigation, however, the police managed to find a woman who saw a man matching the suspect's description near the playground. According to her, it happened on the eve of New Year's. He was wearing a bright orange cap and a brown jacket. Can you tell me, what color was that man's jacket?
Well, it wasn't really orange, more of a rich, worn brown. It wasn't new.
How old would you say the man was?
He looked about 50 or a bit older. Wrinkles. Very gaunt. Very wrinkled and gaunt face.
Despite some differences in the clothing description, police are convinced the woman and the boy saw the same man.
He is saying something to her, leaning down, smiling, and saying something like, "Listen to me. You know me. You remember me. You talked to me once. They had spoken before."
He called her by name. "Are you Miroslava?" "Yes, I'm Miroslava." And then, Maxim said, they walked away.
In his statement, the boy confirmed that he heard the man say the girl's name.
He knew her, they'd met before. Let's go that way. I feel drawn there. He's saying something like, it's close by. She's not afraid. I know him. I've talked to this man before. He's not dangerous.
Meanwhile, Khayal Alekperov returned to the playground together with Miroslava's grandmother.
He came from that direction, looked around the yard, and walked up to the playground. He took the girl the same way he had come. I can feel that somewhere nearby there's a place where he dumped her body. And I want to go there.
The police managed to identify the container where the killer had disposed of the body only by tracing the garbage truck's loading and route. They're still not 100% certain it was the right place.
Please give me her photo. It's here. I don't sense any other place. He carried the girl in a white sack and threw her in head first.
He was carrying a large light-colored bag.
Yes, a sack, they said.
Even though they were in different locations, both psychics sensed the same thing. It was information that, until now, law enforcement had kept secret in the interest of the investigation.
A white sack used for household needs.
A polyethylene sack made from synthetic fabric?
From a denser type of material.
When they found her, the girl was half undressed.
They say so, yes.
The girl was indeed wearing underwear and jeans. Her sweater was in the same sack.
So, after everything what he did to her, did he dress her himself, or was she still alive?
No. He dressed her himself. He didn't get rid of the body right away. About 7 or 8 hours after her death, he was in some kind of living space not far from her home. He brought her here around 2 in the morning. It seems she's taking off her jacket herself.
He could have forced her. Maybe she was afraid.
He slapped her on the left side.
There was some blow like a slap, not with a fist, but...
A backhanded one?
Yes, backhanded.
I sensed some traces of violence on her back.
I didn't see her. I wasn't at the identification.
I sense the body lying on the floor, and there's some kind of heater device or pipe nearby, like a burn from something hot. The burn appeared later. It wasn't intentional. The body was just dropped there.
The police haven't released any information about the nature of the burn yet, since this injury could become a key piece of evidence in solving the crime.
I heard the police talking at the morgue. They said there were burns. It's possible she even died from them.
She didn't die from the burn. She was strangled and pressed down here. Something from her clothes was used, maybe a belt. The assault and the strangling happened at the same time.
There were tights around her neck, which were likely used to strangle her.
I feel that some of the girl's clothes were found elsewhere.
Her jacket and gloves were found 2 blocks from the dumpsters. In a bag, an ordinary trash bag.
He went that way. He was carrying some bag in his right hand. I want to go in that direction.
What happened here? Why did we come here?
He threw her things here. He deliberately got rid of the clothes elsewhere. Then he ran back the way he came.
Apparently, the killer dumped the girl's body and her outer clothes in different places in order to confuse the investigation and divert attention from the actual crime scene.
I feel like I've already arrived. The fear is so strong. There's a spasm in my stomach, and my legs go weak here. I'm not sure Miroslava was killed or assaulted right here, but earlier, he had raped someone else here. I sense the energy of a teenage girl, around 18 years old. The same one I felt back at the playground. It was she who had been assaulted here before. I'm afraid to go there. Let's move in that direction. I also want to look at that building. There's a faint trace of his presence. Fallen victims, disgrace, reversed hermits. That's the anti-monk, a man of vice. Isn't there some kind of medical facility nearby?
Yes, there is.
Apparently, he once went there for treatment. He carries anger. Thinks women are filthy. They infected me with diseases. That could have been 10, maybe 15 years ago.
Investigators took the psychic's information into account, but over the last 10 to 15 years, many people had sought help in those facilities. The search continues.
I want to meet with Khayal. I want to hear what he felt.
I see a premise on the lower floor. It looks like a small apartment or room.
I see a heating device. It is placed low and a bed that's also low. The heater gives off warmth. It runs on electricity. I can sense the burn from there, a burn on a body, but it's already on a lifeless body. Khayal, did you see a lot of keys in his hands?
Yes, he had a big bunch of keys. He carried it with him all the time.
Both psychics are convinced the killer is a local resident. However, they no longer sense his presence in the city.
He might be somewhere in a nearby village. And I also sense a private house.
You said a private house? Is that a residential area?
I see a road, houses to the right, broken asphalt, and there is a small river nearby.
We're talking about the house where he might be staying right now, at this very moment. This is where we can sense the living man who committed this terrible crime.
We appeal to anyone who might have seen, on January 2nd of this year, this man and the 9-year-old girl. Any information you have could help the investigation find the ruthless murderer of a child. The ghost of a woman in white took the life of a little boy. Don't miss out. Terrible vengeance from the other world. What is the responsibility of the dead child's mother? A Ukrainian family of the Adamchuks asked the psychics for help. The little boy in this video is Mikita. He's less than 1 year old. The boy has only learned to walk recently. If only his mom, who shot this video, had known her healthy and carefree son would be gone several weeks later.
I woke up and saw him lying. His eyes were open, but he wasn't reacting at all.
The boy was only 1 year old. He had undergone a routine medical checkup which revealed no signs of any ailments.
The doctor's conclusion came as a shock: severe poisoning with unknown substances. But what substances were they? And how did they end up in the baby's body?
The experts failed to identify what particular substance caused the boy's death and what could possibly include it.
Alla has another son, Ivan. The boy is 5. The woman says she has recently started having nightmares in which her elder son dies too.
I had a dream of me standing at a cemetery and saying, "For the peace of Ivan's soul."
The mother is worried her elder son is also in danger.
He almost never got ill, but recently, severe nosebleeds started.
Mom. Mommy.
Alla and her family live in a small Ukrainian village. Her husband, Alexander, is a builder and often goes to work abroad. The woman spends most of her time alone with the children. After her son died, she lost the sense of her life and she cries all the time.
She asked God to give her another baby so she wouldn't cry as much for Mikita.
Several months later, Alla's prayers were heard. She got pregnant again. She's now in her 7th month of pregnancy. However, for the past 3 months, the young mother has been suffering from nightmares. In those dreams, her newborn baby dies.
In one dream, I was told that my baby would die 10 days after birth.
Our project's experts, Larisa Hutsanu and Jana Shulikova, agreed to help the young mother.
I see a middle-aged woman. She has dark hair that falls on her shoulders, and her chin is massive. It's really heavy. She looks at me, and her gaze is so sharp that it gives me chills all over my body. She says she needs this woman's children.
While waiting for Alla, Jana Shulikova also saw a terrible vision.
a block of ice with a little boy frozen inside it. He's rolled up in a ball in there. It's so eerie.
Hello.
Hello.
This is my son Ivan.
Hi there.
I fear for my children.
Let's go look at the boats.
Zhana Shulikova decided she would first speak to Alla's son, so she took him for a walk in the park. Meanwhile, Larisa Hutsanu stayed to work with his mother.
I have dreams of losing my baby.
The threat is real. I heard a female voice saying, "I'll take them away from you. You don't need the children," but I didn't tell Alla about this.
Suddenly I had a vision of a boy falling into some foul-smelling green sludge, struggling for breath. I realized that the child was also in danger. Are you afraid to stay home alone?
I am.
Afraid, right?
He cries at night, shouting out something like, "Please don't." But when he wakes up in the morning, he doesn't remember what he was shouting. Last night, he hardly slept at all.
I see some kind of evil entity. And the entity is female. She's rather baleful, strong, and terrifying. She's threatening. I see that one boy is gone, and the other is supposed to be gone too.
We'll do our best to help you out. Don't cry.
I had the impression that Allah had opened a forbidden door, with death standing right behind it.
But where did this unknown force come from, and why is it threatening to deprive the young mother of her children?
Larisa, it's so weird. I'd say the child burned from the inside.
It's like he's sleeping, but his eyes are open.
It's a coma.
The boy was weak for a few days before the coma. He barely ate and had a temperature. His family believed it was because of teeth, which began cutting through recently.
His first 4 teeth began coming through. Naturally, he was very naughty.
If only the young mother had known how she was mistaken. Alla woke up at 4 in the morning for some reason and went to check on her little son, who was sleeping in his crib. But when she touched him, the baby didn't stir.
His eyes were open, but he wasn't reacting at all.
Mikita was taken to the hospital. He was admitted to the intensive care unit.
His heart was failing, and they were trying to save him. The doctors didn't think he would live.
Alla didn't lose hope that her son would survive. She spent day and night at his crib, barely sleeping, and singing him his favorite lullabies.
We went to the church to pray. We cried. While he was on the drip in the intensive care unit, I spoke to him.
Mikita spent 7 days at the intensive care. Until he died.
Mikita is in the heaven. His heart stopped.
Your mother-in-law, I see her giving him something.
Whispering in his ear, I went to pick up tomatoes, and she gave him a watermelon.
The boy's death triggered an investigation into the possible intended killing. All of his relatives were suspects.
The investigators in charge of the case suspected that the baby was poisoned by the watermelon offered to him by his grandmother. However, medical professionals remain uncertain about the specific toxic substance that caused Mikita's death.
It turned out that the entire family ate the watermelon the boy was allegedly poisoned with, and none of the family members, including the children who also ate it, got poisoned.
I saw a short woman with dark, shoulder-long hair and a thick, heavy chin, and her eyes were evil.
What woman is the clairvoyant describing? Who is she?
Allah sees signs of the death following her in her own house, and the signs are quite peculiar. It's fire. That is, light bulbs may go on by themselves, wall sockets may crackle, wires or the TV can sparkle.
The sockets in our home are constantly circuiting and wires caught fire several times.
Yes, you can have fire at home.
The TV started burning once. If I'd slept for half an hour more, we would have all suffocated and died.
It happened on Easter. The next morning, the family was going to go to the church to have the Easter cake sanctified.
The TV burned out of a sudden.
Animals also feel it.
We have a dog. She howled into the window.
I feel a force that's roaming around, taking away children.
Alla shared that. A few days before the psychics arrived, she had a nightmare that gave her chills. In it, she went out of her house and saw a woman standing in the yard.
And she told me, Allah, nobody else arrived. I am the only one who arrived, and I brought you bad news. You'll give birth soon, and your baby will die in 10 days.
Tell me, please. Did your son hear the spirit of death?
When it happened to my Kita, I heard distinct footsteps in the attic. Somebody was walking there. I got so scared, thinking someone had courage to climb in there in broad daylight. But when I went to check it, there was nobody there. And recently, while I was putting Ivan to sleep after lunch, he told me, Mom, there's somebody in the attic.
We need to check the house.
The clairvoyants go to the house where the Adamchuks live.
Larissa, are you unwell?
I don't feel well. Stop the van, please. She's just attacked me.
Does anybody have a tissue? Larissa's bleeding.
This is incredible. But a few hours before the psychics arrived, something similar happened to Ivan. What could it be? A mere coincidence or a mystical regularity?
Careful, the bleeding is strong.
This woman came to me. She said, I'm going to strangle you, but she didn't want me. She said, I came for her children. She's here for Ivan.
Why Ivan? Why does she want me and my children? Who is this woman?
This woman, she's dead. That is, a spirit from the netherworld took away your baby's son. It's killing children.
Larissa Hutsanu feels better now. So, Allah takes the psychics into her yard. Is the source of all her troubles somewhere in her house? Larissa Hutsanu stays in the yard, but Jana Shulikova and Allah go inside the house. What do the psychics feel?
There's something in here.
Shock. The TV turned on its own.
What is this?
I don't know how it happened. You can't turn it on without the remote.
What's that?
A strange rumble comes from nowhere.
The woman in white.
I saw the woman in white. She was very tall.
Allah says she saw the woman in white in the house. The ghost was walking around the rooms.
We were in the bedroom, and I really saw the long-haired woman pass by it.
And after that, the young mother began having the nightmares in which this otherworldly entity threatened her.
The woman in white. Could she be the woman Larissa saw? Larissa. What an eerie house.
I saw the woman in white. She passed by this door. She's tall, she has long hair, and she's dressed in all white. She looked at me and then went there.
She had a heavy chin and a spiteful look in her eyes. Let's work a little more, okay?
I got the feeling that fire was scorching my body. I felt it in that house, but it wasn't the house itself that was burning, but icons of saints.
When I only entered the yard, the cards showed me a woman burning something, you see? Icons were burned here. The woman built the house.
An old woman named Paraskovia built this house.
Did she have a daughter? Was it her daughter who burned the icons?
Her daughter, who burned the icons, lived here for a long time.
Burning icons is a serious sin. They give you divine protection. If you destroy them, you lose the divine protection.
Paraskovia was a fervent believer and had many icons, but her daughter didn't admit the icons could help.
The woman was severely punished for burning the icons. Her punishment was death.
Indeed, the locals say the woman who burned the icons died tragically. She had lung cancer and burned down in several months. But what is the connection between this terrible story to Maikita's death and the things that are threatening Allah's other children?
This yard, it feels like somebody is buried here. Is it a baby?
Larissa!
Quiet, calm down.
I can't.
Quiet.
Water. Do you have water?
Take a seat over here.
What's in the well? What's in the well?
I don't know. By the time we moved in, it was already blocked. It was blocked with lots of litter.
I have a vision. A woman walks, holding a bundle. There's a baby in the bundle. She carries the baby to a well and drops it in, and the baby dies.
Look, on our way here, I told you about it. A block of ice and a baby boy frozen inside it.
We asked the locals, and they told us that 10 years ago, a local woman dropped her newborn baby in the well. The one that is in Allah's yard.
She killed her baby because she was crazy or something. After she drowned the baby, she died herself.
The boy who his mother didn't want. He was left, thrown away.
But what relation does it have to the house?
The female entity.
She takes away children. The children she takes away are those who were abandoned by their parents. God gives us children, and we must look after them. I'll never wish for any mother to lose her children. But on the other hand, it's your fault too. Did you distance yourself from your children?
Nobody understands what the clairvoyant is talking about. Allah's silent. What does it all mean?
Currently, it's not a family. This boat is barely keeping afloat.
Yes, yes, I sometimes fear myself. So much anger gathers in me occasionally.
It turned out Allah and her husband often have scandals because the woman feels lonely. The man spends most of his time abroad, while she stays home with the children. The house and the garden are her responsibility.
At times I'm overwhelmed with rage, and I start nagging and shouting.
They often fight for nothing. And the kid may sometimes get a cuff on his nape too.
Sometimes I can't even control myself. When Yvonne comes to me to ask me something, it causes such aggression in me that I'm unable to hold it back.
And you also directed your aggression at Maikita just like you do with Yvonne.
Yes, it happened. When Yvonne and Maikita both cried, I locked myself in the room and closed my ears. It drove me insane. I couldn't bear to hear them. Everything irritated me. I rarely play with my son. I don't want to play.
God doesn't give us children as toys. We must protect them and guarantee a future for them. You're lucky to have children so easily. You don't know how people pray to God to at least conceive a baby to simply feel pregnant. Your son didn't feel wanted here. You see? He didn't feel like anyone was paying attention to him. You simply came up to him, checked if he was okay, and then left.
You showed weakness.
And that was it. This entity, the woman I saw, she takes away children who are neglected because she watches over such children. There are millions of entities roaming the world, but people attract them themselves.
And if Allah doesn't accept this, she'll keep losing her children.
I don't understand how I could control it. I don't want to shout at them, but I don't understand why I do it.
This is laziness. You're too lazy to make an effort.
Larissa Hutsanu takes the woman inside the house to bring her to her senses. Zhana Shulikova stays in the yard. She asked almost the entire crew to leave her alone. She says she's going to put a protection spell on the young family's house, and nobody is supposed to see her do it.
I'll leave you a candle so you feel better. Burn it in front of the icon of Mother Mary and baby Jesus. You'll become a true mother, and no entity will ever enter your house to do any harm to anybody. Pray for your children, so nothing bad enters here to harm them. But above all, it's about you, and only then it's about the entities. You must protect your home. Why is a woman believed to be the one who protects the home?
What are you, first of all? You're a mother, and then you're a wife. Be responsible for your children and for what you say and do. Don't take it as an obligation. Make it a part of your life, or else, when they get older, you'll regret not spending time with them, but living a life confined to yourself.
If only I could go back in time, I'd like to change it.
Change yourself.
After meeting the psychics, the woman changed her life drastically, and she decided to start everything from scratch. While we were preparing the episode, Alla gave birth to a boy she named Bowden. He's 4 months old now, and he's a healthy and happy baby. Her elder son, Ivan, is also doing well.
Everything is fine at the moment. And thank God nothing is bothering us. I often think about how it could have ended if I hadn't reached out and asked for help. My pregnancy went well, and the delivery went without any problems. Everything was all right. I carried the baby and gave birth to him, and he's absolutely okay.
This is hard to believe, but the mother's indifference toward her own children ended in tragedy. Thankfully, the life of the family changed for the better. A terrifying secret hidden by an ordinary-looking house. Why is a poltergeist hunting a mother and her son? Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover a shocking murder. 29-year-old Valya, from a small Ukrainian village, has reached out to the psychics. The woman works as a nursery maid, and she's panicked by her own home. She says some invisible, sinister force is trying to drive her family out of there.
I felt the touch of icy hands, like someone was holding me.
I was cooking here. I took out a plate, and it knocked it out of my hands, and the plate broke. I got scared because something hit my hand hard.
All the things in the house have a life of their own, and the clocks are doing something devilish.
They started going counterclockwise. It's a really bad sign.
Valya suspects that something otherworldly has settled in her family house.
I was sleeping and felt something choking me, grabbing my throat. I woke up because I was coughing.
The same thing is happening to the other members of the family at night.
I woke up feeling someone watching me. It felt like someone was standing at my feet.
I couldn't see its face, only a black shadow standing there. I closed my eyes in fear and...
In the morning after these terrible dreams, bruises and scratches appear on the woman's body.
Here, and on my legs. All my legs were blue.
One day, Valya saw her own reflection in the mirror, but it was so terrifying that she almost died afterward.
There was a silhouette of an old woman. Her hair was gray, and she was all wrinkled.
After such a terrifying vision, she was urgently hospitalized.
My blood pressure soared. They thought I wouldn't survive. It's awful. It's simply awful.
Valya is desperate.
I'm even afraid to tell someone that something like this is happening to me, so people don't think I'm crazy. I even got a certificate that I'm not insane. and a doctor examined me.
The last straw was when this inexplicable mystical force almost killed Valya's 12-year-old son, Vitya.
My son was playing with his friend. Here on the floor, they were playing chess. When they stepped away, a piece of the ceiling suddenly collapsed with the wallpaper and everything. It collapsed right where they were sitting. What if they hadn't stepped away? I wouldn't have survived it.
The woman even called a priest to bless her house, but the horrors didn't stop. So now the hope is only on the psychics.
I can't go on living like that.
Tarologist Yana Pasinkova and sorcerer Andriy Satanenko, who works with blood, hearts, skulls, and animal brains, took on the case. However, for us, the main thing is not the means, but the result. So, the psychics head to Valya's house.
Why do you need this?
This morning, I was praying to my master, asking him to help me. And this skull fell off the shelf. This is a dog's skull. Out of 100 roads, a dog will always pick the right one.
All right, let's see. A woman in blood. What is happening to Valya is because of this woman, and the connection goes through a child.
Stop the van.
Andriy, where are you going?
A woman comes out to meet the psychic. But who is she?
My master sent me to you. Do you serve him?
Yes.
Don't give up your service. My master brought me to this house because that woman is possessed. She delivered a message from him. She said, "Look for the woman in the white mask. She knows more than she says. Find this woman and remove her mask."
It's unbelievable.
But who is the masked woman, and how is she related to the mystical occurrences in Valya's house? By the way, half the village has already gathered here.
Hello.
Hello.
We are begging you to help us.
You are a beautiful woman, but you are lonely. Where is your child's father? Did you divorce him?
Yes.
Valya's son is her only support. She divorced his father 8 years ago. She says he was her first and only love, and the biggest disappointment in her life.
People envied us because we lived very well.
Until her husband was changed by alcohol. When drunk, he became a different person. He raged, beat Valya, and later even took a mistress. Valya couldn't bear it.
I took the child and went home. I couldn't stand the humiliation.
Valya was left alone with a small son, without any support. To Valya's joy, her son grew up and started helping his mother with everything.
Andriy, let's start with the house. Do you have holy water? After all the rituals, please wash yourself with the water.
I'm not going in there.
The house was blessed, right?
Yes. On Epiphany.
I need to know about such things in advance. If the threshold is blessed, I won't step over it. I will have to work only in the yard.
All right, sit down, please. This is your property, but you don't live here.
We left it.
It turned out that Valya, along with her mother and son, has been renting another place for a month now. However, the family will soon have to return because she no longer has money to pay the rent.
There's evil roaming here. What is this?
It pushed her and she fell and twisted her leg.
I'm shivering. I can't even imagine how you lived here. It feels like someone is holding my leg, and the sensation is physical.
It dragged me off the couch.
It turned out that not so long ago, Valya experienced the same thing that happened to Yana Pasinkova.
Give me holy water and a cloth to wrap my leg. The leg was burning terribly. It felt like some fiery hand grabbed it. I had to stop it somehow. So I wrapped my leg and Valya's leg, which also the same hand had touched, with a towel soaked in holy water.
What kind of force has settled in this ordinary village house? And why is it driving the whole family to despair? Yana Pasinkova and Valya hurriedly go outside.
What's lying in this ground?
I found a cross in the garden, and we also found bread buried there. And coins.
A death curse.
Who did it?
Who wishes you death? It's a woman.
Who is she?
There's something else. I need to check the yard. Just a second.
It's over here.
Could it be a needle? I see it. There it is.
Don't touch it. Stop. Don't touch it.
Give me a tissue.
Oh, God. Oh, God. It's a great sin.
Somebody give me matches.
Does this mean that everything happening to the family is because of this needle? But who placed it in the yard, and why?
A woman.
She's older than you, a lot older. And there's a man between you. He's older too.
Well, I know who it is. She lives in the neighboring village.
We must go there.
Andrei, I need you to look at my leg. It burns terribly. Look.
It really grabbed you.
I see the fingers.
Yes, it's left by a palm.
I tripped with this foot.
Everyone is in shock. What kind of devilry is this?
My God, I'm so scared to go there.
About 50 people have already gathered near the house where Valya is taking us, and here is the woman she suspects of all her troubles.
Hello? What's your name?
Nadia.
Do you damn her?
I do, and I will continue to damn her.
It's because of your husband.
You intruded into my family. Why did you harass him?
I harassed him? Let him come out and say who harassed whom. Your husband did an indecent thing. He gave me a lift a couple of times. It was his initiative for us to communicate. Little by little, it turned into 5 years.
Stay away from my family.
Nobody's touching your family.
Wait, is she his first mistress?
No, but it's nobody else's business.
He's really old. Who would want him as a lover?
Where is your man? Bring him here. Hello, Petya. Do you understand your guilt?
I do understand it, yes.
Valya is not your first mistress.
Of course not. I've had a long life.
How old was she then? My card shows a child.
When I met her, she was 23.
How old are you?
59.
Anyone would envy such health.
Petya appeared in Valya's life when she was having a hard time in her life. She was going through the divorce with her husband, Vitya's father, who was her first and only love.
I need Valya.
She definitely harassed him.
No, ask him. Why are you asking me?
How dare you talk to me like that? I'll smash your face. Shut up.
Calm down and stop shouting.
He told me you cheated on him.
Did her mother ask you to leave her?
I asked you.
And what did I tell you? I said, okay, and then went away.
Oh yeah? And then you did it again.
Well, the man made a mess.
At that moment, my master gave me a sign again. Find the woman in the mask and remove it. The woman in the white mask knows more than she says. Find the mask and remove it. You are the woman wearing the white mask.
But what do I know?
A woman in a red dress, like blood. She is completely covered in blood.
Who did you kill? Yana, look. A dead child.
Is Valya a murderer of a child? And is what is happening to her and her family a punishment for her terrible sin?
I killed nobody.
The bloodied woman. You and her are connected.
Everyone in the village was shocked. It was terrible.
A hair-raising revelation. It turned out that Valya's brother Serhiy killed his son with his own hands. But what does the woman in blood have to do with it?
The answer to the question was in the child's death itself. So we needed to go to the place where it happened.
It's not far from here.
The locals still remember the tragedy that occurred in this house 5 years ago. The little son of Valya's brother was found stabbed in the house one morning. The boy was only 2 years old.
This is horrible.
My God, it's so awful. Dear God.
It's a bloody murder.
The boy still lives here. Andrea, come over here.
What happened, Yana?
Damn it.
Quiet, quiet.
It's strange, but when Yana mentioned the boy, the stove door suddenly opened.
My leg hurts again. Where's Valya? There was that stove. I spread the cards on the table, and the stove opened.
The boy was found in the stove.
What you felt in the house and here, is it the same spirit?
It's the same spirit. It's a boy, a little boy. He stands. This is what I see. He stands, and it's like he's holding your leg, standing next to you.
When he was little and still alive, he played like that. He said, "Auntie, auntie."
Honestly, I've seen a lot, but this... What they did to your nephew is just barbaric. His head was separated like this skull.
His head was severed.
They severed the head, right?
Yes. And put it in the stove.
And his hands were chopped off.
Hands, legs, and the head.
When the policeman opened the stove and the head fell out of it, he fainted and they barely revived him. He said, "In all my years, I've never seen anything like this."
Valya's 2-year-old nephew and Vera's grandson, Maxim, lived in this house with his parents. One day, the boy disappeared. The entire village searched for him, but the child lay with his head cut off in this stove. His father was blamed for the child's death. People still do not believe that a loving father killed his son, cut off his head, and hid it in the stove.
Who did this? Who's guilty of his death?
My God, the man is your bloodline. And the woman helped him.
Did they both kill him?
He couldn't have done it alone.
She killed the boy.
The boy's father, Serhiy, is serving a life sentence for the murder of his son. The mother, Inna, was a witness in the case and is now free.
The police asked if the mother was looking for the boy. I said no. She only pretended to look for him, but in reality, she did not.
The people suspect that the mother is also involved in the boy's murder. That is why she hurriedly moved away and didn't tell anyone where.
The woman helped him. She seems to have covered up the traces.
The father was drunk. He couldn't have cleaned up all the traces, but the room was clean. And we found drops of blood on the stove. So, he didn't clean it up. Only she did.
Then why was he imprisoned and she wasn't? She doesn't even know where her son is buried. She has never visited his grave.
She didn't come to the funeral. Everyone was there, but she was busy doing some paperwork.
The child lived worse than dogs live.
He went around the neighbors' houses, eating scraps from dogs' bowls because she was always drunk.
The neighbors would tell her, "Come and take your boy because he's around the doghouse, near the bowl."
Why didn't you take him home?
Before this happened, he lived with us for a week. We had a real chance to adopt him, but my husband refused.
I don't get it. The child was your blood, and he was little. You had the opportunity to save him. Do you understand that?
The white mask, it has no emotions. Closed eyes, closed mouth. Yana, do you understand what this is?
It's indifference.
Each one of you is wearing the mask of indifference. I am addressing everyone now. Each of you knew about this family. Who among you did at least something to prevent this from happening? Who?
Who could know this would happen?
Everybody knew.
While we watch someone else's grief, it seems to us that it doesn't concern us.
You have your community. You should help one another.
I wanted to take the boy home. It's been 6 years, but I still can't get over his death. I can't sleep at night or during the day. I constantly think about him. His eyes, face, hands, I remember all of it. The image is haunting me.
And it wasn't an accident that I fell in your house earlier today. His trace remained there.
I keep his umbilical cord and his dummy at home.
The umbilical cord?
Yes, in the cupboard.
In that room?
Yes.
The boy had been giving me signs from the very beginning, and I tripped in Valya's house, right near the place where his umbilical cord was kept in the cupboard. The boy desperately asks to be loved. He needs love even after death, until his relatives atone for this sin of indifference, which is one of the most terrible sins. No ritual will remove this horror from their home. He returns to avenge you for your indifference. He takes revenge, and believe me, he will also take revenge on his father and mother. They will not live long.
She's already got either syphilis or AIDS. But what do we do?
You need to make amends.
Your future involves serving children.
Adopt someone.
Valya and her mother need to constantly ask for forgiveness from their brutally murdered nephew and grandson. It was their indifference that helped kill the little angel. And now only good deeds, prayers, and repentance can atone for their sin.
Thank you so much.
The wages of sin. Why is a ghost trying to take away a little boy? Don't miss out. The psychics will reveal the shocking truth about a child's murder. The Ukrainian family of the Kucherenkos asked the psychics for help. The young parents of 2 go to bed and wake up, fearing their elder son Ilya could die. Bad injuries and bone fractures, electric shock, and even road accidents are only a part of what the 6-year-old boy has been through recently.
There's a real threat to our son. It's a matter of life and death.
The parents are sure that the misfortunes that keep happening to Ilya are not accidents. 17 years ago, Yuri was warned he could lose his son.
I bought a motorcycle, and when I was riding it, its brakes failed and I crashed into a tractor.
The man suffered a horrible head injury and slipped into a coma for 9 days. He says he recalls the moment of the collision, and then he felt like falling into a black tunnel, from which he merged into a strange place.
I saw a large golden gate and there was a man holding a book next to it. No, it's too early for you to be here. You haven't fulfilled your mission yet, he said.
And then, Yuri felt a shove and found himself in the black tunnel again. Behind him, he heard the voice of the man with the book, who told him to save his son from death. The next moment, Yuri opened his eyes to see he was in the hospital. Back then, Yuri didn't suspect he would indeed have a son. But since Ilya was born, his young parents have never left him alone for a second.
I literally watch over him all the time.
But the incidents happen in front of the parents so fast that they simply have no time to react. Besides, the boy's mother once had a dream in which she murdered her elder son.
Suddenly, something like a dog collar appeared in my hands out of nowhere. And I put collar on my son's neck, and it started tightening his neck more and more. And he chalked in my dream.
The terrified woman woke up in a cold sweat and heard her son scream.
He was screaming, trying to breathe in, but he couldn't do it.
The boy had a peculiar choke attack. His parents called an ambulance. The doctors said Ilya had stenosis. It's an abnormal narrowing of the larynx that can result in asphyxia. However, the medics failed to find the reason for the attack in the sleeping boy. But the last straw that urged the parents to ask us for help was the bizarre visions Ilya started seeing at home.
He said, "Mom, I saw a ghost. It was all white and scary."
I want the psychics to help us sort it out.
The most powerful experts of our project, Olena Kurylova and Khayal Alekperov, take up the investigation.
I had a dream last night. In it, I saw a boy of about 12. His arms here covered in cuts. He'd been murdered. He told me, I tried to stop her, but it was too late.
I'm having a vision of a woman standing next to a fire.
A fire?
Yes, and she's naked. It looks like some kind of ritual. I hear her shout out in front of the fire, "Give me power. I'll destroy each one of those boys."
Who could she mean? Anastasia and Yuri's sons?
I don't know.
A ball. There's an awful story related to a ball, and we must find the answer.
Hello?
Hello?
We fear for our son.
The cards are telling me there's a spirit bound to you and your family. And a woman bound it.
One of you knows her personally, but I failed to understand who she is, where to find her, and how the parents could save their son. Yuri, you mentioned the words of your mission you heard while you were in a coma.
Yes. You haven't fulfilled your mission yet.
My book says that your mission is connected to a murder.
Were you in a coma too?
Yes. When I was 4, a police car hit me, and I spent 9 days in a coma. Mom was at work, Dad was fixing the bike in the backyard, and I sneaked out of the house and ran across the road to see my friends. This was when I was hit by the car. I had a craniosacral injury and a broken leg. I don't know how my parents took it all.
A falling tower, a happy family. Wealth, it was all gone.
Yes.
Your healing required a lot of money.
I needed money for the meds, which we naturally didn't have, and so my parents had to borrow.
The debts were sky high, and to repay them, Anastasia's parents had to work day and night, exhausting themselves.
A series of events that destroyed the family.
No sooner had I returned from the hospital than a misfortune happened to Mom.
I feel that your mother lost her arm.
Yes. She worked at a canning factory. A machine tore off her arm, and she ended up disabled.
Because of her injury, your mother couldn't earn money. Your father was the only provider.
Yes, yes,
But he was gone a few years later.
yes,
Did he choke?
yes. He suffered from seizures. I was 12 when Dad died.
The man had been epileptic since he was a little boy, but the attacks were rare, as he cared for his health and did everything to prevent them. But the powerful stress provoked them again. Her father's death remains Anastasia's sore point to date.
I was his favorite daughter. It's very hard.
I see a young man next to you. You and him are related. He must be your brother.
Yes,
His support helped you live through the nightmare your family had to deal with.
of course. He gave me the sense of consolation as the brother.
And then I felt somebody's touch. I see a man. He's fair-haired, blonde, and his eyes are gray and blue. He says, Nastona. Nastona.
Dad used to call me so. It could only be him.
What was your father's name?
Serhi.
He can't go to heaven. His soul is restless.
What's the reason for that?
To find it out, the psychics decided to carry out a ritual to let the father's spirit talk to his daughter.
Anastasia, if you want to speak to your father, you only have a few minutes.
I love him a lot, and I have always loved him. I miss him so much. Please be a guardian angel for me and my children, for all my family.
He's saying something. It's like an echo. He says, my son. The cross. What is he trying to tell me?
What cross could it mean? What does Anastasia's brother have to do with it? And who was the woman that bound the spirit to the family? And why did she do it?
Is it possible that it happened because of me?
Do you mean the spirit that haunting your family?
Yes.
What makes you think so?
My brother and I took a cross from a grave as kids.
Why did you do it?
We wanted to sell it for scrap.
Anastasia says it happened after her father's death.
We were broke and had nothing to eat. We needed money.
To make ends meet, Anastasia and her brother collected glassware, waste paper, and scrap metal.
We searched metal and went to the old cemetery. There, we took a cross from one of the graves to take it to a recycling center and make some money.
How old was your brother then?
16.
Even though her brother is a year older than her, Anastasia says she's always treated him like a younger brother because since he was a child, Andrei has been very self-conscious. He didn't speak to people and didn't study well at school.
He couldn't study. He has this mental block that makes it hard for him to think. He was bullied a lot at school because of it. It started since the very beginning.
Anastasia recalls that her brother tried everything he could to make money for the family, and thus he decided to go to the old cemetery to find scrap metal there.
The spirit from the grave you disturbed could have started haunting you to avenge. Do you remember where the cemetery is?
This is our old cemetery.
Olena, this is the grave.
Yes, yes.
It's unbelievable. The vase that was on the next grave falls directly in front of R.E.'s.
There was nobody around. Nobody touched the vase. How did it even happen? I can't wrap my head around it.
Here. A dark woman. She's skinny. You took her cross.
Please forgive me and my brother and don't hurt my children. I sincerely regret doing it.
She says, I'm not mad. They needed money. It turned out the woman from whose grave the cross was taken wasn't haunting Anastasia's family.
I see a picture. A woman kneeling in front of a grave. She's alive, and she weeps bitterly, saying, I'll make them pay for what they did to you. I see a vision from the past. There are you, Yuri, and 2 more boys, and a woman shouts to you, you're all going to pay for it. You'll know no rest. Who was she?
The card of the witch. You infuriated a witch. What did you do to her son?
The ball hit his head and...
When Yuri was 16, he and his friends, other teenagers, were playing football not far from his neighbor's house, and the boys hit her 11-year-old son with the ball on his head.
He started crying, but we boys only laughed at that.
But it wasn't all.
Yuri says that the man hit the 3rd grader's nose. It started bleeding, and the boy cried and ran home.
I saw the boy come home holding to his head and screaming with pain. And then he fainted in front of his mother.
I recalled my vision of the woman who promised revenge, kneeling in front of the grave. So I thought it could be Yuri's neighbor, and her son died after the ball hit him. What happened to the boy you hit with the ball?
It was long ago, and to be honest, I didn't pay much attention. Later, the woman left the village.
The only thing Yuri remembers is that after the incident, the furious mother of the boy encountered him and his friends.
The next day, on our way to school, we encountered her. And then it started. She began threatening to do something that we would never forget.
Do you know that woman's name?
Alena.
What exactly did she say?
Burn in hell. Be damned.
The woman practiced magic. She knew how to do things.
Yes.
It turned out that the locals said Alena was really a witch, since after any conflicts with her, different misfortunes happened to people.
Everyone feared her a lot.
But does little Ilya find himself in danger because of the woman who cursed his father many years ago?
I see the woman say she wishes you to experience what her son has suffered, and it really happened soon afterward. You injured your head and slipped into a coma, and then your 2 friends died from head injuries.
Yes. She cursed the 3 of us. 2 are already dead.
But your parents prayed to spare you. Especially your mother.
Yes, she did. I was saved at the last moment.
Is it possible the neighbor bound a spirit to the 3 friends, and because Yuri survived, the spirit shifted its focus to his son?
Wait. I feel that the night before, the woman cursed you. She carried out a ritual with fire.
We saw her. The backyard of her house overlooked the sports complex. And so we were exercising at the sports complex and saw her dance around a fire naked. We were just kids, so we simply laughed, thinking she was a cuckoo.
No, she wasn't a cuckoo. My goodness. Here's what I saw. A naked woman in front of a fire, shouting out, "Give me power, and I'll destroy every one of these boys."
Can you show me the place where Alena carried out the ritual?
Yes. It was her house behind this fence over there. I was in that sports complex and saw it all from behind the fence.
Olena, the woman didn't summon spirits during the ritual. The ritual was aimed at strengthening her energy.
But there was the curse, and the curse has fulfilled its purpose.
It only targeted the 3 of you. It contained not a single word about your families. We were wrong. Another woman bound the spirit to the family.
Who did it?
Wait. Olena, it's him again. the spirit of the boy with cuts on his arms. He says that he has no choice but to haunt your family.
I have no idea who it is.
But the boy claims you know him well. He's pointing at the bruises on his throat. They're shaped like fingers. He was strangled.
In our village, where our country house was, our neighbor's son was killed. He was strangled.
Who did it?
My brother.
Your brother?
Yes, Andrei.
He was thrown in jail. He did his time.
But why did he kill the boy?
I asked him many times, but he couldn't explain.
Anastasia says that the terrible murder happened when her brother moved in their parents' country house. Andrei was 20 by then. Being a sociopath, he couldn't find a job in the town, so he went to work at the local forestry and helped his neighbors every now and then.
This was how he made a living. Plus, I helped him.
The murdered boy's family lived next door to Andrei. His mother always pitied the young man who lived alone. She often invited him to their house and cooked lunch for him. Anastasia's brother became friends with the woman's 11-year-old son, whose name was also Andrei.
Your brother looks to be like an 11-year-old kid himself. He's so immature.
Yes.
According to Anastasia, this is precisely why her brother became so close with the boy. Nobody could think such a tragedy could happen. Little Andrei's mother was at work.
They went to watch TV at the boys' home, and it happened there. I don't know what caused it, but he strangled the boy.
The cards say there was a conflict. The little Andrei started mocking and saying something offensive. The boy called Anastasia's brother a retard. This drove the 20-year-old man mad.
This is what kids at school used to call him.
Anastasia's brother didn't understand what he did, and when he came to, he got scared and even tried to cover up the traces.
When the boy's mother found her son's body, his arms were cut, and she thought he'd committed suicide. However, the forensic investigation revealed he had been strangled.
The dead boy's spirit is haunting your home, and your son finds himself in dangerous situations because of him. The boy's spirit repeats the words he told me in my dream. I tried to stop her, but it was too late.
There was a curse from his mother. She shouted out, "As long as you live, you won't forget my son's death. May he stay with you every day."
And she told you this personally.
I met her once in the street. It was a great shock.
The death of little Andrei was a devastating blow to his mother. The woman, who used to be so cheerful and good-natured, retreated into herself and started drinking heavily.
The grieving mother's words became a curse, and it bound the boy's spirit to your family.
How do we deal with little Andrei's spirit? What do we do?
The problem wasn't only the mother's curse, but also the sin of the murder.
The sin concerns the entire family, and you can't rid yourself of it. It takes years to repent the guilt.
Because of the awful thing your brother did, there's a cross laying over your entire family. This is what your late father's spirit told us about. Yuri, you must help your wife, children, and the upcoming generations repent of the sin of the murder. This is the mission the Supreme Forces told you about. And to make sure the dead boy stops haunting your family, we will try to release his spirit to the other world and lift his mother's awful curse.
Andrei, I am so sorry that my brother took your life. I beg you, please don't touch my family. Leave us alone, please.
The boy's spirit is now free. The rest depends on you. Don't forget your mission.
Yes, I understand. Thank you so much.